So in today's video we are going to be doing a ramble today, and we're going to be talking about reacting to transfer deadline day. So of course deadline day was yesterday, and yeah, quite a few deals happened, quite a few deals collapsed. As always, it was a pretty eventful deadline day. So we're going to go through, have a ramble. I'm going to give my thoughts on some of the biggest deals that did or did not happen, and then we'll just, what I'll do is I'm just going to have like a browse of some of the general deals that have taken place in the Premier League and across Europe, talk about maybe some, give my thoughts on them, have a look at some maybe which I didn't realise happened, because I'm sure there are, you know, with deadline day there's so many deals happening that it's hard to keep up. So yeah, I'll kind of update you on everything that occurred. I should also say, as a recording, it's midnight on deadline day, so technically some deals haven't been officially confirmed yet, but most deals are finished. Maybe, you know, there's problems at the last second, but yeah, most deals I talk about should be fine. Anyways, I think the best place to start, and you know, I hate doing this, but we're just so involved. We were just so involved today, and that's Chelsea. And the main one is Jadon Sancho. Jadon Sancho has joined Chelsea on a loan with, I believe it's an obligation to buy for 25-ish million, around that fee. And I mean, I did not expect this to happen at all. I did not expect this. Jadon Sancho to Chelsea. I mean, it's funny, I actually wanted Sancho when he was at Dortmund to come to Chelsea like a couple of years ago, you know. But after what happened, I was not expecting us to get him now. How do I feel about this? Now, initially, I was like, what on earth are we doing here? And I still am a little bit confused. So, the initial one, interest, I believe, was in a swap deal with Sterling. At that point, I was like, okay, I can kind of get on board with this, because, you know, you're trying to get rid of Sterling. Let's get a player instead, you know, Sancho, I guess, facilitate that swap deal. Okay, cool. But it turned out that we didn't actually care about a swap deal, we just were interested in Sancho. I'm not entirely sure why, because we have quite a few wingers already. I mean, we obviously signed Pedro Neto, we've got Madueke, we've got Macaulay Mudryk, we've got Cole Palmer can play out there, we've got Nkunku can play out there, we've got Joao Felix can play out wide. That's 6. And now we've got Sancho, that's 7. So we've got 7 potential wingers at the club now, which is like, what on earth? And with Sancho as well, like, see, again, I believe it's an obligation to buy, which I just don't really understand. If it was an option to buy, maybe. Now, the fee is cheap, 20-ish mil. I'm okay with that, that's not that big. And of course, with Sancho, there is that potential that this could go really well. We all know there's a fantastic player in there. We saw at Dortmund in his loan, he did pretty decent, and he has lots of abilities, and if we can unlock that, then, you know, we might have a bargain on our hands here. But it's a big if. It's a big if. And, you know, we've already taken a gamble with a couple of signings. For example, Pedro Neto is a bit of a gamble in terms of his injury record. Joao Felix is very much in the Sancho model, where he's not had a good time, but he's a good player, and we're taking a punt on him, and now we're adding another one in Jadon Sancho, another sort of uncertain entity. Look, I like Sancho as a player, but as I said, I don't think it was a necessary signing, and it's a big risk. I mean, it does get me excited a little bit about our attack. Now we have so many options, and I really do hope, especially because it would absolutely annoy Man United fans if Sancho bangs for us. That would just be hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But yeah, I'm not don't entirely see the sense in this, but I'm excited to see if we can get him back to his best. From a United perspective, I think you're pretty happy with this, to be honest. It's an obligation, so Sancho's getting off your books. Realistically, I know he sort of made up with Ten Hag, but there was no way he was staying at United as long as Ten Hag was there. And you know, you tried all summer to get rid of him, you couldn't get rid of him, and you finally got rid of him. So yeah, even if he does back at Chelsea, it will leave a sour taste in their mouth. But at the end of the day, he wasn't going to do anything at United, so you got him off the books, and that's good. Now, I mentioned him before. And I think we should probably talk about this as well before we get into another Chelsea story. And that's Raheem Sterling. So Raheem Sterling appears to have joined Arsenal on a season-long loan. Now this one kind of came out of the blue. There was a couple, rumours of interest from Arsenal, but they didn't really seem like serious links. And then all of a sudden they managed to get the deal over the line. From a Chelsea perspective, it's kind of similar to the Sancho one where, look, you don't want to strengthen your rivalry, you don't want to give Arsenal a player, but at the end of the day, your options are running out close to the deadline. We had to get rid of him, so we really had no choice but to accept that loan, even if the terms weren't favourable, because I believe Arsenal are paying under 50% and there's not even a loan fee in there. So it's not the best deal, but it's either that or we pay all his wages and he sits on our reserves. So I'd rather take that, to be honest. From an Arsenal perspective, I think this is a really, really good signing. I really do. Especially in terms of the way they've got this deal. As I said, Arsenal are paying less than 50% of his wages, which, to be fair, he's still on high wages, so they're still going to be paying quite a bit of money. But there's no loan fee. It's a fairly cheap deal. It's a straight loan. There's no obligation or anything to buy him. If it doesn't work out, he can go back to Chelsea next year. And he, of course, has bags of experience, has worked under Arteta before at Manchester City. And we all know, similar to Sancho, Sterling is a good player. If you can get the best out of him, Sterling can be a really, really good winger. Again, I've said this before, but Sterling's not some trash winger. He is declining, I would say. He's not at his peak anymore. But, last season he was decent for us in moments. Inconsistent, but had some good moments here and there. And I think that with Arsenal, he can play either wing, and importantly, that's a big factor because he can play on the right wing, and we all know that's a position where Bukayo Saka, we've all been saying, if he gets injured, who plays there? Well, now you've got an option there in Sterling, who obviously is probably not as good as Saka, but on his day can be a really, really capable replacement. So yeah, I think this is a good signing for Arsenal. I would be happy with it. And yeah, for Sterling, I guess it's good for him to get out of Chelsea. By the way, this guy has no loyalty. Just a side note. He played for Liverpool, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal. Just go to United and Tottenham and you complete the set right there. But yeah, that was an interesting one, Raheem Sterling to Arsenal. Let me know, Arsenal fans, how you feel about that, because I've seen a couple reactions online and they're not too happy about it. But yeah, let me know how you think that deal is going to go. Let's return to Chelsea and let's talk about one of our big storylines, and that's Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen is a deal that did not happen. This is also linked to Osimhen Toney as well. So, coming into this deadline day, let me sort of lay out the scene. Al Ahly in Saudi Arabia were interested in Victor Osimhen. They had agreed a fee with Napoli already, but they had not agreed personal terms with Victor Osimhen. They also were looking at Osimhen Toney as an alternative if Victor Osimhen did not agree terms with them. Osimhen Toney had his terms agreed, so they were very much ready. Okay, Osimhen says no, let's go and proceed with this Toney deal. But they were only going to sign one, they were not going to sign both. Chelsea, of course, were interested mainly in Osimhen, but I think slight interest in Toney monitoring that situation. So, I mean, personally, and I think a lot of people assume that, okay, Al Ali, whichever one they get, Chelsea will get the other. So if Al Ali can agree terms with Osimhen, we'll go for Toney. If they can agree terms with Toney, we'll get Osimhen. But it's not worked out like that. So Toney has gone to Saudi, but Osimhen has not gone to Chelsea. He has not gone to Saudi either, and he is staying at Napoli. Now look, from a Chelsea perspective, I will say I'm disappointed because I've made it very clear on this channel. I really like Victor Osimhen as a player. He is one of my favourite players, favourite strikers. I think he's a world-class striker, and I would have loved him to be at Chelsea. It would have been a fantastic signing, and I would have been completely on board with it. However, while I'm disappointed, I am not angry that we didn't get the deal done, because I'm actually kind of happy in a way that Chelsea have stuck to their guns. I think Chelsea have played this almost perfectly and couldn't have really done too much more. Chelsea waited and waited and waited and waited, delayed, purposefully waiting until the final really hour or so to make that official last bid to Victor Osimhen in terms of the wages. Chelsea had, I'm pretty sure, most things agreed with Napoli. It was just terms with Osimhen and the wages. Now, he didn't want to take the pay cut, which, you know, I understand. And apparently we only offered him around like 120, 130k, which I would, you know, if I'm Osimhen, I'd be like, yeah, I am probably worth more than that. That is quite low. But, as I said, from a Chelsea perspective, they played their cards right, because Saudi were off the table. They said, Osimhen, you're taking too long. You don't really want to come to us. We're just going to go ahead and get this Toney deal done. We're out of this. So by the last couple hours, Chelsea was Osimhen's only option. No other club in the world were going for him. It's either go to Chelsea, take that wage drop, or you're staying at Napoli and you're sitting on the bench for most of the season. So those were the two options, and as I said, I think, you know, in that situation, Chelsea have played their cards extremely well. However, Osimhen didn't want to accept those wages and decided, no, I'm not taking it, and I'm staying at Napoli, which, from his perspective, I think is an absolutely stupid decision. He had two clubs on the table: go to Saudi, get the bag, or go to Chelsea. And he didn't take either, and he's now stuck at Napoli, where I have no idea what's going to go on there, because, you know, reports are that a relationship is pretty much broken between them and Napoli. You know, he hasn't been involved in any pre-season games, training, anything like that, not been part of the first team, made it abundantly clear he wants to leave. Napoli have signed Romelu Lukaku to replace him. They've signed David Neres, they've signed McTominay, they've spent all of his cash assuming he was leaving. He is not. So, is he going to go back and waltz back in and be like, oh, hey guys, yeah, everything's cool now? Probably not. I would assume that they've spent that money on Lukaku, they put his wages, if Lukaku's on high wages, they're going to be like, yeah, we're playing Lukaku. Not you, Osimhen, even though Osimhen is a good player and better than Lukaku. You know, they haven't just bought Lukaku for Lukaku to sit on the bench, right? What was the point in that? So Osimhen is going to have to hold the bench and barely play now, and going to waste at least 6 months of his career. So yeah, I think he's made an absolutely stupid decision. Chelsea, as I said, I'm disappointed, but I'm also glad that, you know, we played our cards right, and we also didn't, you know, bend our backwards for a player. We weren't like, okay, you know what, you don't want it, let's just give him 200k a week, screw it. We said, no, we have a wage structure, you're going to fit into the wage structure, and you have no option. We're very happy to walk away from the deal if you don't accept it, and we walked away. So yeah, it is what it is. As I said, I'm disappointed we didn't get it done, but yeah. From a Toney perspective, I did want to touch on that as well. I'm slightly disappointed that Tony has gone to Saudi. That when someone goes to Saudi, I always have the same stance. I will never ever begrudge you or say, you know, what are you doing? Why are you going to Saudi? It's life-changing amounts of money, so I completely get it. However, I will say that I am disappointed because, from my perspective, I wanted to see Tony playing at those bigger clubs. I wanted to see, especially in his sake, he's never played for like a big six club or anything. I want to see, okay, how good are you? Let's see you at one of those big clubs and see how you do before you go to a Saudi. But yeah, it seems like we're probably not going to see that, which is unfortunate. But yeah, let's talk then a little bit about some other things. I mean, we can round up the Chelsea things here with some of the outgoings we've done. So Trevor Chalobah has gone to Crystal Palace on a straight loan. I don't think there's an option or an obligation to buy in there, which I'm actually really, really happy about as a Chelsea fan, because I love Trevor Chalobah as a player. I think he definitely has a future at Chelsea. So, this means that hopefully he can have a good loan, come back to us, and maybe get back into the team. I mean, probably not. We'll probably try to sell him again, but still it leaves the door open. And at Palace, from Palace perspective, is a fantastic signing. Absolutely fantastic. Chalobah's a great player. You got him on a season-long loan. I would have liked if I was Palace to get an option to buy in there, but it is what it is. They've also signed Maxime Lacroix, got that deal done. So Lacroix, Gay stayed, and Chalobah at the back. That's a really nice back three. That's a really, really good back three, actually. That is class. And yeah, they have a really good defence now. Armando Broja looks to be joining Everton on a loan with an option to buy. Now the option to buy is 30 million. I mean, I'm not sure how Everton have agreed to that. Like 30 million is a lot from Armando Broja. But of course it is an option to buy, so if it doesn't work, they're obviously not triggering that. But yeah, I think Broja, wish him well at Everton. I think he actually suits their system very well, given his size, his frame. They need another striker, and yeah, they got someone in Broja. I actually suggested they signed Datru Fafana on loan. We went for Broja instead, so I mean, that was kind of close. Yeah, I think he'll do pretty decent there. Petrovic has also gone to Strasbourg, so yeah, all that talk about us having 8 goalies, well, we only have 3 now. Now, a couple players as well stayed. For example, Carney Chukwuemeka didn't get a move. Interested to see what happens with him. But more importantly, Ben Chilwell, I believe, hasn't got a move either. So I have no idea what's going to happen to him, if he's going to get reintegrated into the squad. We'll see about that. Anyways, let's move on. Let's talk about some of the other Premier League deals that have happened on deadline day. So I'm going to have a browse here, and then I'll talk about some of them. I did also want to say, I believe, I'm going to double check this actually, but I want to look at Newcastle's transfers, because I don't think they've actually signed anyone, which is really, really concerning. Really concerning. So I know they were trying to sign Elanga at the last minute, but I don't believe it's happened. And yeah, nothing, no incomings. They didn't get Gay, they didn't even get another centre back, which is a big failure. I'm going to talk about every individual signing and ranking windows, etc. But Newcastle had a shocker here. They didn't sign a centre back. They had alternatives to Gay, they didn't get them. They didn't sign a Langer, they didn't get a right winger. Really, really bad window from Newcastle here in the final days. Anyways, let's have a look. So Nottingham Forest have signed Morato from Benfica, centre back. Cool. Carlos Soler has joined West Ham on a loan without a purchase option, which is interesting. Straight loan. We'll see how he does. I spoke a little bit about this in my ranking transfer rumour, so I won't go into too much detail about that. Oh yeah, with Jay Stansfield, this is a side note, has left Fulham to join Birmingham in League One for £15 million, rising to 20 million. Yeah. By the way, Birmingham are in the third tier. They're in League One. Third tier of English football, spent 20 million on a player. That is absolutely mental. I don't know where they got that money from. Naif Aguerd has left West Ham to Real Sociedad. James Ward-Prowse has joined Nottingham Forest on a loan. Yeah, he definitely needed to get out of West Ham, join the Forest on a loan. I actually like that signing. I think it'll be pretty decent at Forest. I think it'll be pretty decent. Lo Celso has returned to Real Betis for only £5 million, but apparently Spurs retain a 50% sell-on clause on any future fee. Yeah, I guess he needed to get off the books. Eddie Nketiah has gone to Crystal Palace. That one was kind of done already. And the reason I think they got that done is because Osimhen Edouard has been loaned out to Leicester City, which I actually really like from Leicester's perspective. They need another striker. They've got him in. You know, he's not been amazing at Palace, but he is somebody who has talent, can score some goals in a Prem. Yeah, and I think it's a decent addition just on a straight loan. Wolves have signed Andre from Fluminense, which is a really, really big signing. I know a lot of clubs were interested in him throughout this window, and they managed to sign him. Midfielder from Brazil, he's very highly rated, so yeah, I mean, him and João Gomes, the Brazilians in the midfield, that could be a mad link up. What else have we got there? Let's see. Ryan Fraser returns to Southampton, where he spent a loan. Ben Doak on loan to Middlesbrough. Billy Gilmore now has gone to Napoli. They've got the Scottish midfield now. Gilmore and McTominay. That's crazy. A Agade deal got confirmed finally. Yeah, it's a big fee, by the way. It's around 42 million. Could reach 50 million, which is pretty mad, by the way. I didn't expect it to be that expensive, but yeah, we'll see how he does there. Fabio Silva's gone to Las Palmas. Fabio Silva and McBurney up top. Who would have thought that would be happening? Neto has joined Arsenal from Bournemouth on loan after Ramsdale joined Southampton. I mean, it is what it is. He's just a backup goalkeeper, right? Oriol Mangala has joined Everton on loan, which is a bit weird because I'd swear he joined Lyon this summer on a permanent, and now they're loaning him out. I'm not entirely sure what's gone on there, but Mangala is actually a pretty nice midfielder. At Forest, I think it was pretty good, so I think it's a really nice signing on loan from Everton. Stefan Bajcetic, and now there was a little bit of drama with him. Apparently Barcelona were interested, but then they couldn't even afford to get him on loan. So he's gone to Salzburg to join Pep Linders, which, yeah, will be interesting for him. I was a bit surprised though, because I thought he could be someone who could break out into the first team this season. Enzo Branchia has been loaned out to Valencia. It's funny. So Villa in that swap deal got Douglas Luiz on, got Illing Jr. and Branchia, and they've both just loaned them out. Neil Maupay has gone to Marseille. I saw his post, which is pretty funny. Sam Johnston has joined Wolves, which I think is a really, really cool signing. I've always liked Sam Johnston as a goalkeeper. Is he going to start ahead of Sarr? I'm assuming so. I don't know. Maybe one of Wolves fans can tell me if he's signed as number one. But yeah, I do like that deal. Bilal El Khanous has joined Leicester, which is a really, really big signing, by the way, because I was going to do like a breakout stars across Europe, sort of youngsters to watch, and he was one of the names I was looking at. He is so young, but played so many games already and looks so good. Yeah, Chiesa deal, of course, got confirmed with Liverpool. Reece Nelson looks like he's joining, I think, Ipswich on a loan. Which is interesting move. I think that's a really good loan for Ipswich. Interesting for Nelson. I'm excited to see how he does in regular game time. Ipswich have also signed Chidozie Ogbene, who I think did pretty well in the Premier League last season for Luton. Now I'm gonna just get a couple more deals up. Let's have a little browse. Anything else happened? I think that's most in the Prem, which I've covered. Yeah, I think that's most of them in the Premier League. Wait. Actually, has a Reece Nelson deal just collapsed? I've seen news of this. Let me just double check. Reece Nelson. Oh wait, what? Fulham are now close to it. Yeah. Okay. What the hell? Well, yeah, there's some live news for you. Yeah, Reece Nelson deal to Ipswich is off, and he's now joining Fulham. Apparently, I don't know what the hell's happened there, but to be fair, that probably makes a lot more sense. I actually think, yeah, I suggested in a one player every club should sign, he should go for Fulham, so I'm actually happy about that. Fulham need another winger. I think that's probably a better move than Ipswich. A bit of a better club, you know, in terms of level. Him and Smith Rowe linking up, that'll be pretty interesting. But yeah, that's pretty funny, and luckily I did search this up. Anyways, I think that's most of them in the Prem. Let's talk about across Europe then. Some of the interesting ones. So let's have a look at Serie A. Anything catch my eye? Yeah, Manu Kone. Manu Kone has joined Roma, which is a really, really cool signing. Roma have done some really good business, I think, this summer. You know, Dobvik, Mateus Sula, now Manu Kone as well. They've not had the best start to Serie A, but they've made some really good signings. I remember Kone was heavily linked to Liverpool, I think last summer, maybe the year before. Didn't happen, but he's now joined Roma. Billy Gilmore, as I mentioned, has joined Napoli. Him and Scott McTominay. Tammy Abraham has joined AC Milan in a loan swap deal. That's the first time I've heard of that. So Alexis Salamakers has joined Roma on loan, and then Tammy Abraham goes the other way on loan. Yeah, good signing for Milan. Good signing for Milan. Obviously they got Morata there as well, but yeah, Tammy Abraham is, you know, as a Chelsea fan, someone I always root for. So I'm hoping he does pretty well there. I wish him all the best. Anything else? Sofian Amrabat has joined Fenerbahce. He's joined Jose Mourinho's Fenerbahce, which is pretty cool. Tino Andrin has joined Empoli. Odilion Kosunu from Bayer Leverkusen has joined Atalanta, which is a really good signing for Atalanta at centre back. Kosunu was, you know, quite highly rated at Bayer Leverkusen and managed to get him, so that's a really big signing from Atalanta. The Coop Miners deal also finally happened. Juan Musso joined Atletico Madrid. Rui Patricio joined Atalanta. Francisco Conceição as well joined Juve, which I thought was a really weird deal because it's just a straight loan, there's no buy option. A bit weird. Yeah, that's most of them from Serie A. Let's have a look at La Liga. Oh yeah, this one was weird. This one was really weird. Sebastian Haller has joined Leganes. I mean, this is one of the biggest coups, I think, in this window. I mean, what the hell? Leganes. Sebastian Haller is still a really good striker. I mean, you know, a couple of years ago, he was banging in goals for Borussia Dortmund. He was playing in the Champions League final last season as well, and now he's playing at Leganes. Wow, I mean that fair play. I don't know how they managed to get that deal done, because it's not like he's washed or anything. Anu Danjuma has joined Girona, which I think is a really good move for Girona. Really good move. Nabil Fekir has gone to Saudi Arabia. Juan Bernat from PSG has joined Villarreal. And Marcos Alonso has joined Celta Vigo as well. That's most of the deals in La Liga. Bundesliga. Frank Onyeka has joined Augsburg. I did not realise that happened. Mohamed Dahoud has joined Eintracht Frankfurt on a free transfer. I mean, that was just a horrible move by Brighton. Robin Gosens has joined Fiorentina. Maxim Lacroix, as I mentioned. Oh yeah, Gertrude has joined RB Leipzig, which is an absolutely fantastic signing from Leipzig. So Mohamed Simakan has joined Saudi Arabia, which the same thing as I mentioned about Toney. You know, don't begrudge him, but disappoint him because you know he's a young player with a lot of potential. But if something Gertrude to replace him, who might be even better. I think I suggested him to join Aston Villa. I could honestly see, if they signed him for around 16 million, I could honestly see him getting sold for some big money, because Leipzig are that type of club, so that's a big, big signing. Really, really cool one. I feel that, oh yeah, Nordi Mukiele has joined by Leverkusen on a loan, which I think is a absolutely sensational signing. Absolutely sensational signing. You know, Mukiele back at Leipzig was really highly thought of, and I think in that by Leverkusen system, playing in that back three, I think he would absolutely thrive as a sort of right centre back. So I think Mukiele is a great signing. Let's have a look. Oh, actually, Aminal Dakali has joined Stuttgart for 6 million from Burnley. I know Burnley have sort of had a mass exodus. Okay, yeah, let's have a look at Ligue 1 before we wrap up. Let's see any deals. Oh yeah, Wilfried Zaha has joined from Galatasaray to Lyon on a loan. He was in with many Premier League returns, but in the end went to Lyon, which I think is a decent move for him. Anyone else? Mitchell Baker to Lille. Timothy Pembele has left Sunderland. Youssef Makoko has joined Nice, which is a massive signing for them. Youssef Makoko is somebody who was tipped to be, you know, the next big thing out of Germany. So yeah, really good to see him joining Nice. I'm intrigued to see how he does with some regular game time. But yeah, I think that is most of deadline day. Let me just have a quick browse if I've missed anyone or anything. But that's everything. It was a pretty decent deadline day. Chris Mepham's joined Sunderland. That's a pretty good signing for them in the Championship. Yeah, I don't think there's too much else here. Alex Mitten has gone to USA, San Diego. Vitinho has joined Brazilian club. Carlos Alcaraz has gone to Brazil, which I thought was disappointing. I thought he had a future in Europe. But yeah, I'll wrap up the video there. As I said, I think overall pretty good deadline day. A decent window. There wasn't too many like mega moves, but I think overall quite a bit of drama, a bit of action in terms of signings. And yeah, as I said, we'll do some videos later on where we, you know, rank for every transfer, where we rank transfer windows, etc. But that'll be at a later date. So yeah, hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Let me know any of your thoughts on any of these transfers on deadline day which we have discussed. And if you have enjoyed this video, please leave a like, consider subscribing, and I'll see